Okay, this will just be a short video on how we can take our calculator here and store in values. A lot of times we, especially with logarithm word problems, we we get big long decimals here that where we have to save the decimal places. And so that presents a problem, especially when we have to save it. So I'm going to show you how to store a value in your calculator here. So I'm going to do sort of a value here that wouldn't be too nice, maybe like 250 divided by 347. So it's probably not going to be a real nice value there. And so that's 0.720, so forth. Okay. So the thing is, if I want to use this number later, of course, we can always use the answer function down at the bottom to recall it. But if I do a lot of other calculations, it's going to lose that value. So I'm going to show you how you can store this value. If you look at this button right here, it has STO, and so that's the abbreviation for store. So what I can take that number and do is store it. So I'm going to hit this store button, and what I can do is I can store it in one of these variable values. Notice I already have something for A. I'm actually going to overwrite that, and so I'm going to hit enter right here, and it's going to store that value. So it just took that 0.72046 and stored it into an A variable or an A position in the calculator. Now, if I clear off my calculator and I do other calculations, I'm just doing that just so it gets it off the answer. So it's no longer an answer, but now I can recall that number. So let's say that I want to do 5 divided by that long decimal. Okay, well, it's gone. I've erased it from the answer memory, but I have stored it in the A position. Now, to recall that number, if you notice above store, you have RCL, which will recall that. So I've got 5 divided by, now I have to hit second, and then I'll hit recall. And so there's that number. This is stored in A. So notice you have other positions you can store. You can store in B, C, D. You can store whatever numbers you want into that. So to recall that number now, I'm just going to hit enter or my equals, and it's put it back on my screen for me. So there it goes, 5 divided by that 0.7 number there. And it's actually, I get 6.94. Okay. It's just a little video. You might want to do this when you're working with your word problems, especially with your logarithms.